Hi, welcome to Lost in Composition. I'm sitting down with Bill Braun again, this time after he went viral. So, how did you... Now, when I woke up one morning, I was scrolling through my feed, and I saw a video of yours, and I was like, wait, who posted this? And then I noticed that it was a friend of mine back on the East Coast who has nothing to do with art. And I looked at the count, and it was at 700,000. I was like, oh, he's going viral.
Yeah,
And
I knew nothing about it.
You knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
So was I the one that told you?
Yeah, you were the one that told me. I woke up and had hundreds of emails and on my site, and I thought it was like a DOS attack or something, and I didn't know it was the interest was generated from the video that Sabrina Fry is her name.
Yes.
Yeah, she posted at an art fair.
Yeah. Which art fair was it?
It was at the Reno Tahoe art fair in Reno.
In Reno.
It was
You spent some time in Reno.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, between the ages of 12 and 21.
Yep. Yeah. So have you spoken with Sabrina yet?
No, my wife wrote her an email, and they've emailed back and forth. And she seems very nice.
Yeah, I spoke with her actually, and just text messages basically, and instant messages. And she said that it's really nice to see artists succeed, and I agree. And she said to say hello and how happy she was for you.
Well, thanks.
And she'd also like to know...
Hi.
Hi, Sabrina. She'd also like to know what inspired you to create childlike paintings?
Yeah, well, I get that question. I don't really think I'm trying to be... It sounds weird, but I don't really think of him as being childlike. No more than like a lot of Picasso's work where it looks very childlike, you know.
Yeah.
Or a lot of other artists that have it's called like a faux naive kind of style. I mean, you're a trained artist, but you're just like doing things really quickly and it's like,
yeah. And you had mentioned that when we were discussing this, you had mentioned that you don't see this as a child's creation, like a child wouldn't create that.
Yeah, well, there's an art collector in Bellevue. I had dinner at his house, and that subject came up, and he was a grade school teacher, and he said that children wouldn't compose pieces like that. I mean, they're not composed like a child would. It's just cut out. People associate cut out stapled things. They associate it more with children than they do with like Matisse or something. Yeah.
See, when I see something like this, I think of something that a school teacher would do. For kids.
For kids.
Like
on the bulletin board
by adults.
Yeah.
For children.
That could be.
Yeah,
that could be.
That's how I interpret it.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely fantastic, though.
Well, thank you.
Of course, because, well, I have a few of them. So how has going viral impacted you and your work?
It's just not much at all, really. I mean, I have sold pretty much everything I've done most of the last 30 years, and also keeping a modest inventory on some galleries, trying to, sort of, so people could see it, but the inventory's all gone. So.
Yeah. And that's a good problem.
Yeah, it's still a problem, though. Galleries are like semi-public spaces, and if there's, you could always, people could come and see one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Coming in and seeing one, so that's, whenever I think of my experiences in galleries, there's two that jump out, and one's down in Santa Fe and one is at Patricia's Gallery here in Seattle. And that was, we were in the gallery and Patricia wasn't there. I think it was Eric, and it was Eric. And there was a father and a daughter, a very young daughter outside, and they were walking by, kind of looking in, and you know, and art can be an intimidation for some.
Right.
And I got that impression, so I was like, "You guys want to come in?" And they came in, and he's like, "Is it okay if she like takes pictures? She's doing a thing for art." And I'm like, "Eric, yeah, sure." I'm like, "Eric, can we bring out a Bill Braun?" And so we brought one out for her, and she was just amazed. Yeah. And her father was too, but she was just enamored with that painting. It was really cool. And she asked if she could touch it, and they let her.
Yeah. I think younger children really don't. I don't think people really develop as much depth perception across the population until they're older. Because I think I found that like younger pre-adolescents and older people are the most convinced that it's totally flat. I mean, they don't. Okay. Because like a lot of people aren't really sure, but they've got an inkling that until they get up close, they have an inkling that something's wrong. Okay. But there's some people that just don't, and they tend to be younger and older that just don't get it. Yeah. Well, I have cataracts now, so I can
and you're still doing stuff like
I'm
this?
still doing
That's
stuff like that.
awesome.
And I'm occasionally fooled. I mean, usually that's the time to turn off the lights and call it a day in my studio, because if it's like, if it starts to fool me, I go,
it's time for bed.
It's time for bed.
I know this stuff, it shouldn't be fooling me.
It shouldn't
but
be
you know, we've had one piece for 20 years by you, and it still fools me.
Yeah, if the light is just right, you look at just the right angle, it's like sometimes I go, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's very cool. I really like being tricked by it. This part right here is what gets me on this one. Yeah. That and some of the sun, and the moon. Yeah. And the stars too, which I'm gonna try and get a video.
Do the side view thing.
Well, yeah, of the reflection, because you use a little bit of reflective paint there, right? I think. Right. And the reflective quality is just like what those old school lick and stick stars are. Yeah. It's really cool.
Yep. Yeah, and I think the first interview told you that. You asked me what I wanted to be, and I said I wanted to be an astronaut. Mm-hmm. And so I drew pictures of astronauts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that reminds me of that. And also I was really bad at sports, so.
You and I both. Awful, always picked last.
Yes, the very last.
So, and this was a commission. And I actually have a page on the blog about commissioning, and this one is featured. And it includes the little sketch that I drew in paint and sent your way.
It's good. I mean, there's people don't realize that artists will do commissions. Mm-hmm. And I think most do.
Most don't.
Really?
I don't know.
I'd say it's 50-50.
Yeah, probably 50-50. Because I've had commissions by other artists, but there are some that just plain won't too. So I'm not going to name names, but okay. Yeah.
Oh, really?
She does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've had a couple by her. But anyways, so you always said that you wouldn't be noticed or famous until after you died. Well, here it is.
I just feel like I just made it under the wire there.
25 million views, over close to 3 million likes already. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, and I was starting to think that you might be right too, because I tried to create a Wikipedia page for you, got denied. They didn't believe me that I was sending your permission with the artwork.
Yeah, you
know?
caught Wiki at a bad time. That they had a lot of, they had been a lot of fake pages, I think.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll try again. Anyways, so I'm very glad that
Yeah.
it happened and that you've gone viral. And there's a couple questions that people have for you.
Sure.
First of all, you had mentioned one about Picasso
Oh, I said that.
in the previous interview.
Oh, yeah, I sounded kind of reactionary. I said he did some things that weren't of the highest quality, and I think. Well, he did some. I mean, he did like 3 drawings or paintings before lunch and a half dozen afterwards, and he never threw anything away. He didn't believe in judging his own work.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's really kind of all I do, is judge my own work and try to improve it. So I thought that was
I think
the reason why I said that. I don't want to, he's probably the greatest artist of the 20th century, okay. But it's like, but still.
when you do that volume,
Yeah, you're gonna do something good.
yeah, you're going to do something good. And
Maybe I'm jealous that I wish I was faster, but
you got
I
more,
do okay.
you got more attention in a very rapid manner than he could have ever hoped to have. But
yeah.
but times change, and
They certainly
I
do.
think that a lot of people are afraid to be critics of art too.
That's
In today's
I think
day
that's
and
an
age.
important point. It's like people look at art and they just kind of absorb it and don't feel like they have any standing to be critical of it. And it's like, that's ridiculous.
Oh, it is. It's completely
mean-
ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, people turn on sports talk and people criticize athletes for doing this or that wrong that you couldn't even dream of ever doing.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like,
Yep.
yeah, so,
And then everyone's criticizing whatever president we have. So
well, yeah.
we
president.
won't go. into
Well,
politics.
yeah, we will.
But yeah.
It's, yeah.
Yeah. So one of my viewers on the YouTube channel, freezemyhead.com, nice name,
Yeah.
asked if I could hit you up about your technique. Is there anything that you can share about your technique?
Well, I use, it's acrylic on canvas. It's generally over like a lighter version of a base color, and then it's built up with glazes.
Mm-hmm.
A glaze is like you add a premixed color and you add more and more of it to darken the lighter
Mm-hmm.
color.
Okay.
So I start out with a really light blue, and then it gets darker and darker and darker and
Okay.
darker and very dark where the shadows are.
And
I use like an airbrush, and I also use handheld stencils, holding them a little bit away from the surface.
so like the stencil for
And the hard edges are all from masking tape.
yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Cool. And like the stencil for I don't think that the viewers.
Oh, they
can
can't see
but-
the names.
Yeah, the names.
Yeah,
of
that's
the
a photo.
creators.
That's a photo silk screen.
Yeah. Which is a nice touch.
It's a nice touch.
So, and you always start with the background first, with the paper first.
No, I kind of
correct?
go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Like a lot of times, like the big planets. I did those first.
Okay.
Then the backgrounds, and I add some of the smaller things, and then kind of back and forth.
Cool.
And
And lots of
And-
masking tape.
and also, it's like, to my eye, it's a very kind of idealized idea of what shadows and wrinkles would be like. I mean, if you took a photograph of wrinkled paper, it'd look different than this.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Wrinkled paper is weird in that there's almost this kind of quality, you really can't decide how big it is. Because
Yeah.
like the wrinkles will be really, a lot of it, the wrinkles will look the same in a little area like that or a big area. So it's kind of the wrinkling and the shadowing works on the same general principle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to.
You know, it's so time and time again, I'll be in a gallery, a random gallery, and I'll see like people who have done crinkled up paper, like a wad of crinkled up paper. And I always look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's good, but,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't think that they fully comprehend.
Yeah, they're probably working like with oil paint on it from a photograph, and it's really difficult.
Okay.
Very, very difficult
So there's no photographs involved here.
Oh, I have a morgue of photographs, but I don't work. It's not a copy of a photograph of one.
Yeah. Okay. So easy peasy, another person online wanted to know if you try and replicate line by line in images perfectly, or if it's a bit more abstract about how you go about creating these. Like the crinkling and the shading.
It's not line by line. It's a little more. It's more process oriented.
Okay.
And it ends up being like more of an ideal than a precise photo.
Gotcha. So there's no like. There's probably a little bit of a sketch done first. But...
Oh yeah, I do little bitty sketches of the shapes and stuff, but I don't really do the sketches of the shadows so much.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Cool. So I know that as a result of the video going viral, you have landed quite a few commissions. Is there anything that you can share about those? Anything out of the ordinary?
No, not really. I mean, they're just what people want to see.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's my technique. I have an advantage that my technique is like I can pretty much plug in any imagery. Because my imagery tends to be, I'll get pictures just ideas out of like pictures, sometimes scenes in real life, but as much or more so like pictures in magazines or off of the internet, just little ideas. Because like a lot of them are kind of inspired by, and I think a lot of people are like, just like little animals looking at each other and trees and mountains and things like that.
This wasn't the first space one that you had done, was it?
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because you designed this.
Yeah. I sent you a little sketch. And
I did pretty much exactly what. Then isn't this pretty much what you drew?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Except for this. This was a surprise for Bill. So the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah.
But he's a Trekkie. What can I say?
Yeah.
So yeah. So and I did notice that a couple space pieces were done after this one.
Okay.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I did one. Yeah, I've done a couple. Yeah.
Cool. I wasn't sure if it was something I'd never asked you that, so I was kind of curious.
Yeah.
So we talked about trompe l'oeil in our previous interview, and you mentioned some of the rules. And one of the things that you said was that it can't come off the frame.
Yeah, it should stay in it.
So, like, this would be the frame,
Right.
correct? The edge, the white edge.
Yeah.
And then, in other words...
Those are the strict rules of it. Yeah, I mean, people bend those like they have things kind of looking like they kind of... You shouldn't cut stuff off. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. So that kind of... Because when we're talking hyperrealism, like, I look at this, and I know it's trompe l'oeil, but I also see it as hyperrealism. And I look at stuff like Kelly Talbot, who I know you're familiar with, and I believe you like her work. She does there's one big one over there. She does the neon signs and sometimes the tubes, and especially in that one, it tricks my eye several times. I mean, constantly, still to this day. There's another one over there that I think is absolutely stellar. It tricks my eyes into believing what my therapist said. Yes, I have a therapist. She looks at my art. She's like, "So did you buy more art?" And, well, sure. And for years she thought that the neon tubes that were painted on the canvas were actually neon tubes above the painting. So, and I would consider Kelly Talbot more of a hyperrealism. Is there a fine line between trompe-l'oeil and hyperrealism? Or?
Well, I would say not all hyperrealism. Hyperrealism is now you're getting into some big art school words that people will.
Their eyes glaze over.
Yeah, it's like people throw around realism, photorealism, trompe-l'oeil, illusionism, and they throw words around that they don't really know. I mean, if you talk to an art historian, they have precise. They use those words a little more precision. So Kelly's work is like based on photorealism. Some of her techniques are such that she uses some process techniques like the staining and stuff is more, because you can see like the rust, she'll use gravity to make the rust drip down. That's kind of bending.
Trompe-l'oeil.
Well, no, you're bending the rules of photorealism to a degree where it's like, to my mind, you know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because photorealism isn't quite so dependent on painterly tricks like that, where it's more like you're copying. It's.
I understand.
The artist is removing himself from the image by replicating a photograph. I mean, he's not. It's a process type art, and that. It's
I think you articulated it very well.
Yeah. So, I mean, you should Google these words, and or we could check out Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And like people use the word realism. Well, realism with a capital R is something different than it's in opposition to romanticism, and it's a artistic movement of the 19th century. That's That's how the pointy head art professors would point out to you, take you to task for.
Okay. Yeah.
Whereas people use these words.
Well, they take me to task over everything.
That comes with their brief.
Yeah. So I really don't have any more questions for you. I just kind of wanted to touch base and see what it was like post going viral. Do you have anything that you'd like to bring up?
No.
Do you want to look at the camera and say hi to Kate?
Yeah, my wife said that don't look at the camera, and I said, well, hi, Kate.
There you go. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to like and subscribe.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.